gotten made fun of that this has shown up, but I think you're all good and you won't do me dirty with that being in the view.
You're good.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you in advance. And the rain held off already.
Yeah. Perfect time.
I know. I was coming in on 66 and it just seemed like it was getting
Oh my gosh, I know.
harder and harder with the rain, so.
It is coming.
Oh, great. I still have half of my roof missing, or my siding missing from the windstorm from last week. So
yeah,
more damage,
else.
great.
Yeah.
Great. And we'll hop out of your way once you guys, as nice as Katie's head is there. Katie, you just give me a thumbs up and we'll go. Everybody else good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant James Curry with the Fairfax County Police Department's Public Affairs Bureau. Behind me is Lieutenant Erin Weeks. She's the commander of the Mason District Station. So a man is in custody for a fatal shooting that is believed to be domestic related. Just after 4:30 this afternoon, officers were called to the 3200 block of Woodburn Road. The victim in this case was the one that was calling. She was inside her vehicle and called to report that her ex-boyfriend was blocking her car from leaving the area. Within minutes, our officers were dispatched. It was relayed that he had a protective order, he was wanted, and during the conversation with dispatch, it was updated that he had shot her. Officers got here within minutes of being dispatched. He had fled the scene. They quickly attempted life-saving measures. She was taken to a hospital, and that quick investigation, they gathered some critical information about his vehicle and that he had fled the area. So fortunately, with license plate readers, it gave our officers a good direction of where he was going. And thanks to Prince George's County Police Department, they anticipated the suspect was fleeing into Maryland. They set up in the right place. They were there, they saw his vehicle, and they were able to take him into custody. A firearm was recovered from inside that vehicle. We'll do some investigation to determine if it was the firearm that was related to this. So you see behind us our crime scene detectives, our homicide detectives. We have witnesses to interview. We have evidence to collect, but we do have a suspect in custody. So we'll work on the back end with this investigation. Our Victim Services Division is going to be with a family that's affected by this. And I know it's early in this investigation, but we'll do what we can to answer any immediate questions right now.
What can you tell us about, obviously you said ex-boyfriend, the relationship and the fact that there was this protective order? Have there been multiple calls about this person? Has he been following her, stalking her, or is this your first point of contact?
Those are all great questions, and for Facebook Live, asking about whether or not there's been previous calls with him. Both reside in Maryland, so this is part of the investigation where we start backtracking, trying to figure out if this is a history, was their stalking case. But we'll get through those answers, and that's going to be a part of this investigation going forward.
But there was a protective order, and in what circumstances are those granted?
Yeah, it's case by case. There is obviously something that led to a protective order being issued. I believe it was likely out of another state, but those are the details that we'll continue to put together and figure out the history between the two and why a protective order would have been issued in the first place.
What about victims of situations like this who have protective orders out? What can they do to protect themselves? What would you say to those people?
Yeah, victim did nothing wrong in this case. You know, victim showed up. This is her place of employment. This is a sad, tragic case. It really is. It really is. We have domestic violence detectives dedicated to these types of investigations here in Fairfax County to provide resources for those community members. The individuals involved in this case are not from Fairfax County, but again, many jurisdictions throughout the National Capital Region have those resources in place.
Did she get shot while she was literally on the phone with the dispatcher?
Yeah, that's correct. She was shot while she was on the phone with dispatch as our officers were responding to the scene. and that suspect quickly left the area before our officers get here. But again, thanks to license plate readers, thanks to PG, the Prince George's County Police Department, for being in the right place at the right time and quickly taking him into custody.
You know around what time Prince George's County Police found him?
I don't have the exact time for when he was taken into custody, but the initial call for service came in just after 4:30, but we can connect afterwards and I can get those details. But it was very quick for officers to get here, very quick to determine he left in the vehicle, these were the tags, and very quick from Prince George's County Police Department to find him, locate him, and take him into custody safely.
Without incident, was he inside a residence?
That's my
Was he in a
understanding.
car
It's still in the vehicle, still in the vehicle.
You know, I heard something possibly about a missing persons call for this suspect as well. Can you explain that?
Yeah, we'll still pull into some of those details of the investigation. You know, the initial call for service, the priority at that point in time was that someone with a protective order was blocking her escape path. And by escape path, I mean just blocking her from ability to leave. There wasn't information initially relayed that there was a firearm involved. It wasn't until the tragic information that we know now to be true that we were aware that he had a firearm.
I don't know if these are details you can tell us, but do you know how long ago they were out of a relationship, if they had any prior contact?
Yeah, that's going to be part of the investigation where we start speaking with family members, friends, get more details about that relationship. To the point that you asked, what were the details of this protective order? It's all about those details now that we focus on the investigation.
What about is it just the two vehicles involved? Was the gentleman in a BMW I heard earlier? I heard it was maybe a Volkswagen.
Or was it an Atlas? There were two
So,
cars.
and that's it. You can imagine when officers get onto a scene like this, there's a lot of confusion. And there's a lot of trying to determine who are we looking for, what is the vehicle. Witnesses are helpful, trying to give us a lot of information. It's trying to figure out, you know, who's the suspect that we're looking for. And we're really happy and fortunate for those officers to dig through that information, get the correct tag, give it to Prince George's County Police Department, and take him into custody. So the specific vehicle, I'll confirm which one it was, but no, it was a lot of information that was coming to our cops very early on, but they dug through it, got the right information out, and fortunately got him into custody.
Did you already say the profile of the victim, if not the name?
Yeah, both were in their 30s, 30-year-old female, 30-year-old male. We'll have more details about both. We want to make sure that we notify next of kin, family members who may not be aware of what occurred right now. But we'll have those details probably tomorrow in an investigative update and in a written release.
You said that she works here.
Yeah.
It was around 4:45 after he left at 4:30. Does it appear that he waited for her to come out off work?
It's very
get out of the
possible.
building?
Yeah,
Did you know
it's
it?
very possible that that's exactly what he was doing. You know, that's what our detectives will ask him, and that's what we hope to find out.
Did you guys recover a gun?
Yeah, a firearm was recovered inside the vehicle. We'll determine whether or not the firearm was the one that was used in this crime.
And she was never got out of the car, correct? She was shot.
She
in the
was
car?
inside the vehicle when she was shot. That's correct.
You mentioned there are witnesses. Was anybody else in danger? Were they in the building, in the parking lot?
Now, certainly we had someone shooting a gun, so fortunately no one else was injured, but a lot of good witnesses that provided us a lot of details about what occurred, and certainly we have the suspect that we're looking for. So again, we'll have a written release with more information as this investigation unfolds, and you can follow our social media for those updates as they become available. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.